What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We here back with my guy is Sky. I got another request. I guess he just made this video a couple of days ago, but we here with the one thing Americans will never understand that the Dutch are great at, which I think is amazing because after seeing a lot of videos about the Netherlands and stuff, Europe in general, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of things that America as a whole, not just the people, but the country could utilize, and could take after. But will we ever see it? I don't know. Maybe if I'm here or not, you just never know. As the time, it could be 100 years from now, 200 years. You just never know. Hopefully we do eventually get it right here, but we're gonna check this out, see what it's about. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations. What you got for us, Guy?
All right, so I've been back in the States for about 2 weeks now, and I can wholeheartedly say that there is one thing that the Dutch are just experts at, pimping the majority of Americans don't have a clue about, like, for real.
Oh, it's a nice place in Florida. Nice resort.
Real quick, gotta give a huge shout out to...
Hold up. The resort kind of look like where I was. Hold up, that look... kind of looks similar.
Okay, real quick, gotta give a huge shout out to Sunrise Resorts. Thanks so much for having us. It's been great. Today's our last day here, and it is time for us to head back to the Netherlands.
Nice.
TSA is always a pain, especially when you travel with kids. Pimp.
He ain't lying.
Pimping, and we are back home, man. Back.
I ain't gonna lie, he was on a regular flight. I thought when you always go overseas, like traveling like 10 plus hours, I thought you get like get on those flights where they got like the little, it's not a bed, but you can almost lay down, go to sleep type. Those might be expensive type of flights right there. I thought that's just how you travel when you traveling overseas.
Back in the Netherlands, and man, I'm not gonna lie, it feels good.
It seems so calm and quiet now.
If you didn't know, me and my wife took the kids and we were in Florida for about 2 weeks. I mean, back to the USA. And again, it was cool. Like, it was nice. We saw family. And yeah, it was legit. It was fun.
That's
I got to
nice.
hug the block a bit in a car. The food was amazing. And overall, it was just, I mean, convenience stores, pimping. Convenience stores. It was just fun. Like, it was cool, but it was a bit weird. Like, it was definitely a culture shock, which is strange because it's not like I've never been to America.
Right.
My whole life was in America. But after being here for almost 2 years now and then going back to the States, there are some things that were just a bit weird. And it's funny seeing these things now, considering I've been in the States like my whole life. Matter of fact, I can wholeheartedly say that I would not have seen these things if I didn't live in the Netherlands. Like, pimping the Netherlands spoiled me. But yeah, there were just a bunch of things that were kind of weird, but don't get it twisted. This ain't a diss track on America. Like, ain't nobody even going that far. So no need to get all touchy and be pulling up in the comments unless you want the smoke, which you already know I'm a thug and you don't want this problem. But yeah, the States were a bit weird, and I think it started with transportation. And not for nothing, it's pretty funny that I'm walking by a bunch of bikes and we're talking about transportation.
Hey, that's a fact, because especially being in Florida, I ain't gonna lie, the traffic is better in Florida to me. I don't go to Florida for a long time to stay, but I think the traffic is better than Texas, especially once you hit like major cities like Dallas, Houston, and all those things. But that's just me. I mean, my brother been there. I'm sure he's hit traffic or, sometime, not too much probably. But like the time we went to the beach and stuff, it was a smooth ride, and then the beaches were like an hour away, no matter what way we went, which way we went. But yeah, that transportation, Texas is, phew.
But yeah, I will have to say that transportation was a bit weird. Like, not for nothing, you have to drive everywhere. And now, don't get me wrong, like places like New York and maybe downtown Chicago, you don't have to drive around those places. Pimpin', I've been to a lot of states And yeah, you gotta pretty much drive. If you don't have a car, you can't do like nothing.
At all.
You could Uber, but I'm gonna be honest, that gets expensive quick.
Very
the country
quick,
as a whole is just made for cars. It's cars first, people's well-being and time. That's later. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking driving, but it just kills me that you have to do it. Like versus like living here, the public transportation is good. You can literally bike like anywhere. But if you wanna just relax and take a stroll like your boy Sky Money, that's cool too. And what's crazy is I love driving, but I just hate it that you have to drive. Like I hate not having the option of anything else.
I feel like once you get your license, like I used to be excited to drive when I was younger. As I got older, I got tired of it because it seemed like you said, you driving everywhere. You get tired of it. I used to be so happy, like, yes, I can't wait to drive. And it's like, oh, I'm going everywhere in this car.
What I love about the Netherlands is that biking is like normal. Biking, scootering, whatever. It's normal and anybody can get a bike. Like it's not a huge expense. Like for real though, anyone can get access to a bike. Oh shoot, you know what? I forgot to shout out the people who sponsored the car. Man, okay, we gotta give a huge shout out to everybody who bought me a car. Paul Anthony and Tim Rayner, you guys are some bosses. White Noise, you are up there too. You are a double boss. And then also my mama. Oh, mama, why you buying me coffee? Like, you don't need to buy me a coffee. Again, a huge shout out to everybody who bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. And if you want to buy me a coffee, pimpin', don't be shy. The link is down below. If not, y'all
I'm gonna have to buy him a coffee.
Enough to let me be a hater. No tea, no shade. We are good. Gucci. And now let's get back to the things that kind of weirded me out, my culture shocks of going back to America. Because while we're hugging the block outside, the biggest one had to be that there was no one outside, like nobody. And this really threw me off, especially coming from the Netherlands. Like it threw me off that like, you're going to Florida, the weather is nice, and no one's outside, like nobody. Like, come on, that's weird, right? Like, right? Like, it is such a strange thing. Like, people would rather sit indoors, sit inside coffee shops, sit inside restaurants. Meanwhile, it's like
downtown Tampa look nice though.
Like almost every
I've never
day.
been to Tampa.
It really threw me coming from a culture where everybody's always outside. And then when the sun's out, people are just turned up. And Pippin, I'm not even joking. They turned up on a Tuesday at like 11 a.m. Like I realized the only time that you see people outside is if they go to like a specific destination. Like somewhere like the beach or like the downtown river walk. If they not hugging the block over there, they ain't outside. Like, look, not for nothing, me, my wife, and my son, we took walks almost every day. And we even went to like parks and things, like just local neighborhood parks. And then you don't see nobody outside walking. You don't see kids outside playing. You don't see parents outside playing with the kids. Like, you might see a couple of people hugging the block, like just like a sprinkle of people hugging the block if they're like walking their dog. They take their dog, walk them around the block, and go right back in the house. And again, Florida is nice. Like, the weather is nice. It ain't like the hood of Chicago where you ain't got no grass. There's grass everywhere. But again, no one goes outside. So coming from a place where I'm so used to seeing people outside like everywhere, like every day, it was definitely a culture shock just because I felt like I was wrong. Like, I felt like I was the weird one because I just wanted to go out and take a walk or take my son.
I feel like that's how it is nowadays for some reason. I mean, it seems like nowadays nobody wants to be outside. Everybody just be inside. I remember growing up, it seemed like everybody was outside. Like, you used to see people walking all the time. You used to see kids playing all the time. Like, I know I was outside all the time when I was young, but nowadays you might see even a few kids here and there. Never see nobody outside walking no more. That's surprising, especially in Florida, like you said. Like, that weather better than Texas, just about.
To the park, like, or maybe it is me. Maybe I'm the weird one. Like, maybe I'm just tripped. But yeah, that was just something else. Just realizing that no one goes outside.
I'm going outside today.
Oh man, I don't know if I ever told y'all this, but I freaking love fall. Fall, hands down, is the boss's season.
Best
like,
weather.
It's the season for bosses. No, but seriously, no, it is my favorite time of the year. Oh man, I'm just so happy, man. Like, for real, I am so happy to be back. Man, and just to be making videos, man, it feels amazing. But yeah, the biggest thing had to be that everyone's life revolved around work. Like, work is who you are. Like, work is your identity.
That's probably where everybody was at work.
And again, Pimpin', I used to be like that. Again, I used to identify with my job. Like, my job was straight up my identity. It was my everything. It was my purpose. It was my reason. it was everything. And I'm not saying your job or your career is not important. But one thing I did notice about here is that it is not like that. Like, it's just people's job is not their identity. Like, for real, there's really nothing wrong with identifying yourself with your job.
That's one of those things. This is what I do, not who I am type of. Used to always say that to myself when I played basketball, because especially growing up playing basketball, when you look good, that's all people know you as. Oh, that guy, he's the one that's good at basketball, right? But I'm more than that, you know? You're more than that. But in America, sometimes, like you said, you identify just with, oh, that's such and such. You know, he does this, you know? So, and I feel like that's where they try to value, that's where they try to, you know, see your value by the type of job you have. But even if I was a janitor, lunch lady, you know, trash, you know, I still have value just because you should know me for who I am. Like, you know, judge people by their character, not for what, you know, the status of their employment.
Especially, like, if you really like your job, then pimp it. Like, if you love what you do, pimp it. Yes. But, though, I can't say that should be a fine line. That should be something that you are cautious about. Like, I feel like your job shouldn't be your purpose or your reason for, like, living, your reason for getting up every morning. But yeah, when I was in the States, I realized that that's what everybody talked about. That was everybody's, like, thing. Like, the thing that you go out and hang out and talk about was your job. And it's just
I'm trying to talk about
like
the football game,
the
basketball game.
And I think I know why it shouldn't be like that. And you know what? Let me post up and tell you why. All right, so about almost 3 years ago, before I moved to the Netherlands, I was living in Los Angeles. The pandemic just happened, plus my company just merged. Just because Disney just merged with Fox, and basically Disney owns like everything.
Pretty much.
And the entire time I worked in LA, I had a friend, like he was my best friend. Matter of fact, he's the guy that I talked about who drove me to and from work when I ruptured my Achilles tendon. And guys, when I say this, I really mean it. He was the nicest person I have ever met in my life. Like, he was a little too nice, like way too nice. He just loved everybody. Like, he remembered everybody's birthday. He would buy things for them on their birthday. And I don't mean just in my department, but since we were at a studio lot, we had security at the studio, and this man would buy the security stuff for them. Like, he remembered their birthdays too. That's gangster. Not only was he nice, not only did he just remember everybody's birthday, but he loved the company. So now the pandemic happened, and I still remember, since he lived right across the street from me, he needed some help putting together his desk as well as his chair. So I would go over, we would social distance, we would wear masks, and I put together his desk and his chair for him. Because we boys, we homies. Like, for real, this dude's my best friend. I will pull up on anybody for him. And I still remember this, like 2 days after putting together his desk and his chair so that he can comfortably work from home, I was sitting at the table working when I got a phone call from him, from my best friend. And I remember his voice. I remember how it sounded. Like, it was like shaky. So after like 2 seconds of just hearing his voice, I remember I asked, like, dude, are you okay? Do you need me to come over? Do I need to bring the smoke? You know everybody can get it. He said, nah, but I'm not great. So I asked him what was wrong, and I still remember this was one of the hardest things for me to hear. And with his voice shaking, you can hear some tears coming out. He had told me that he just got fired.
Dang.
I don't have that type of richness. My richness is
sucks. That's one of those. Have you ever heard? I'm sure everybody heard the saying, "Why do bad things happen to good people?" You know, me personally, I think, you know, good and bad comes and goes. It's just about how you handle the situations. But I know with that, especially in the pandemic, man, like, I know it was a lot of good people, good workers, people that were dedicated to their jobs that got the first end. They got the bad end of the stick when it came to layoffs and getting fired and all those things like that. But that's tough, man. That sucks. Tough thing.
And y'all, when I tell y'all that he had just got fired, like, guys, it's not like he was just started like 2 years ago or 5 years ago. He's been there for over 20, maybe close to 30 years. He gave this company so much. Like, he gave us all. Like, that was his life, and he loved it. And he just gave so much of himself to this company. And with just a click of a button and a read through a quick email, like, he didn't even get a phone call. Like, he just got an email basically saying that he is let go. He is no longer needed at the company. And till this day, it made no sense. He worked extremely hard. And when I mean hard, I mean he would come in at like 10, and sometimes he won't leave until 5 a.m. and then come back in again at 10. So he had amazing work ethic. He also was just amazing with people. He did his job extremely well as like taking on other jobs. He just did it all. After all these years, they just let him go.
Dang. After that many years, like, he shouldn't have been in the first round, second round, or third round of layoffs. It should have been anything but him type of thing.
This is the perfect time to tell you guys what Americans don't understand, that the Dutch get and understand very, very well. And that's the value of time and living your life. And you just see it, like you totally see it when you live here. Like, yeah, there's people who work a lot, there's people who like have to hustle, but for the most part, these same people understand the value of time and living your life. They also understand the value of family and friends. Like they get it. Like, even just being back, the energy's different here. Like, I'm telling you, it's not just about work. Work is not the most important thing in the world to these people. And I don't know if you could tell yet where I'm going with this, but yeah, work shouldn't be your everything.
That's a fact. Hey, got my eyes sweating over here. Everybody outside.
I completely understand why most Americans don't get it. Like, Pimpin', I totally get it, and I'm not like faulting anybody for it. I just noticed that the values here are very different than the values over there. The Dutch value their time and living their life, while us Americans tend to find our self-worth in our work. And when doing that, we tend to basically value all the wrong things but ourselves, our time, and just living our lives, and even our family and friends. Like, I think that's something that I'm happy that I was able to learn while being here. But yeah, that was my trip to the States. I learned a lot. I was really shocked. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, just the simple fact that nobody goes outside. Like, that is a trip to me. Like, but anyway, Pimpin', I think I talked enough. I gotta go run a couple of errands. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Huge shout out to everybody who bought me a coffee. So sorry I didn't mention y'all in the last video, but thank you so much for the coffee. If you want to buy me coffee, Pimpin', don't be shy. The link is down below. And if not, y'all already know I ain't a hater, but just remember, like, if you don't remember anything from this video, it is this. Just remember this. Always remember, no matter what you have or what you're doing, you are the drip. You be the drip.
Gotta be the drip.
You are the value, not the things that you own. Like, Pimpin', just remember that. And just, like keep that in mind, okay? But yes, Pimpin', I will see you in the next one.
Nah, this was good. This was good, man.
And maybe downtown.
Man. Sky here got my eyes sweating a little bit on that ending part, man, because it's so real, man. Like I said, we always wonder what bad things happen to good people, you know, especially given your pretty much 20, 30 years. That's pretty much most of your life to a company, and they just let you go, no problem. You know, I understand the pandemic was tough and stuff, but it's like, man, I think I knew a couple of people, even where I'm at, that been on company, been at job for years, and they just gave them the boot, you know. But that's one thing I always said too. Like, when I going to college and stuff like that, I didn't realize it until I started getting older, you know, getting a little wiser. Because in high school, going to college, I went to school for engineering, and of course, my dream was to go play basketball. I just wanted to go play college basketball, maybe go overseas, you know, and make my living. But that didn't happen for me. So I knew I had to major in something that would take care of me, you know, and eventually if I had a family, it would take care of them too. So I always wanted to be an engineer. And with that, of course, people not telling me, man, you finna, like, that's going to take a lot of time. What they doing? Hey, man, you're going to make some great money. Oh, you're going to make a lot of money. But they don't realize that the more money you make, the more time they take. You want to make a lot of money, you're going to be having to give up a lot of time. And I didn't realize that till probably my junior year, third year in college. And I worked for an engineering company like my freshman year, second semester of my freshman year. And I just see those engineers. They was up there pretty much the sun up to sun down. Then I had the chance to talk to an engineer, and my guy was like, I have 2-3 boys, and I pretty much told them not to go to school for engineering because I lost my family doing that. And I'm thinking, well, that's what I want to value. Like, if I have a family kid, I want to spend time with them. So I was like, that was like a huge reason why I got out of engineering, because I'm like, I know time is money, but money ain't everything. You know what I'm saying? I value my time more than money, because what's worse than wasted money? Wasted time. You know what I'm saying? But now this was good. Especially that ending, man. It's definitely an American thing where we value our jobs more than our own life. And I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I be like working jobs and stuff. I used to have like that I don't care attitude, because I'm like, if I get fired or something, they let me go, I could just find another job. That's why I always did the bare minimum, and I just dropped my mouse. But I always did the bare minimum. Why? Because I'm doing enough just not to get fired. But I'm not going above and beyond, because they ain't gonna give me no more money than what they already paying me. So I did the bare minimum. You just gotta do enough just to not get fired. But no, this was good, Scott. This was real good. Happy that you're back. I'm finna message him right now on Instagram so I can get an interview, because this was good. This was real good. But that's all I have. Hit that subscribe button. Send me more recommendations, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.